Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's this time again, but this time it is season 14 of the Beer League. If you don't know me, my name is My Back is Sore, and I'll be taking you through the season 14 power rankings. Now, before I get into that, I do want to just put a public announcement out there for Mr. Zor, who has been talking a lot in the league chat about how he's a champion now. Well, first of all, it's not going to last for long, I can tell you that. But the second thing is, I've never seen you with this mug, which is what all Beer League champions have. And especially filled with chocolate milk. That's what all of them have. My back is sore. I'm excited to get into this. It is going to hopefully be a fun video for you to watch, and we'll get started right now as I turn down this volume and right into it. So, last season, I promised a 30-minute video at the beginning of it, and it ended up being 54 minutes. This season, I'm not going to give you any promise because there's actually even more teams this year than there were last year, so there's no shot it's going to be 30 minutes. So what I will just preface right at the front is there is going to be timestamps. So if you're just looking to see what I say about your team, or you just want to see the power rankings, feel free to skip ahead. I get it. But if you're a Beer League enjoyer and you want to watch the entire, I'm going to assume this is going to be an over an hour video. I would love for you to watch it, and I'll be here the whole time. So the first thing is, before we actually get into the teams and the power rankings, is I wanted to kind of give you an overview of what's going on. So this is the third season that the Beer League has ran Lite and Stout leagues. So a lower league and a higher rated league. And previously, the rule was that you could play in both leagues, but no one has actually ever done that. So this is the first point I have here is this season, as the rosters are right now, there are 8 two-way players, or what I'm calling 2-league players, and I'm only categorizing them that if they're on the main starting roster for both leagues, because there are subs that are on both both leagues, or a main roster guy on the Stout, or sub in the Lite, whatever. But you're only considered that if you are on the main roster of both the Stout team you're on and the Lite league team you're on. So there's 8 of them, which is crazy because there's never been a single one before now. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But the second thing I wanted to just get right off the bat is the amount of rookies this year is absolutely, it's almost humorous how many rookies there are. Not for me though, because I make the Beer League archives, and if you haven't checked those out, you should totally check those out. I'll leave a link in the video below this. And adding new profiles takes a while, and it feels like almost a punishment how many rookies there are. So for reference, last season, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my preparation sheet that I've done. Last year, there were, in the Stout League, there were 9 total rookies. That's great. And this season, well, actually, let's go 9 total rookies in the Stout, and last season, there were 5 total rookies in the Lite League. So that's, you combine those, that's about 3 total teams that the rookies made up between both leagues. This year, in Stout League, there are 31 rookies. Yes, I'm not joking. 31 rookies. And it gets absolutely even more ridiculous. In the Lite League, there are 22 rookies. So if you have been a Beer League enjoyer for a long time and you're like, oh man, is the Beer League going to die eventually? According to my stats, no, it is not going to. Unless League of Legends just absolutely explodes and just the game just dies or something. But that's a combination of 53 rookies compared to 12. No, I'm sorry. Compared to 14. I was reading a different stat. Compared to 14 last season. 14 to 53. That is 10 entire teams compared to 3. So that's a lot of growth. So that's going to make these power rankings a lot more difficult. I haven't seen a lot of these players play. So I'll explain when I'm going through the power rankings why I'm rating each team, but I did just want to point that out. And also just shout out to this season. 53 rookies, if that stays the number, because, there are roster changes. 53 rookies. The previous record was 31 in season 12, which was 2 seasons ago. And the previous record of full teams was a full team of just rookies. So 5 rookies on the starting roster. The last record was 4 in season 12. This year, there's 6 total teams, full rookies. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to go from there. But before we get into it, I did want to, give you my resume. And maybe you think this is a reason for you to not listen to me, or maybe you think good enough, I'm going to listen to this guy. But here you go. So last season, I did the exact same thing, and this was the result. So Lite power rankings, and this is yet again from last season. Lite League only had 4 teams last season. My original power rankings on the left, and then on the right, what ended up being the end of season standings. So here in this league, you see, let's start from the bottom, because that's the best spot to start, considering I got that one right. TITS, Timo in the Shadows, I predicted them to be last place. They did finish last place. Tip, 2-inch Punishers really let me down. I predicted them to be number 1 seed, and they ended up being number 3. And then you can see the rest. Piss Boys, they go up 1 spot. Bailey and Burritos, they go up 1 spot. So in my head, really, I just was off on Tip. But everything else, I was pretty locked in on. Now, according to ChatGPT, that would give me an average placement error of 1 spot per team. So that's not bad. I was within 1 spot for 3 out of the 4. It also gave me a ranking, a Lite ranking. I got it to rank how I did. I got an A- there. So on to Stout, which I unfortunately did not do as well. Yet again, original on the left, end of the season on the right, and those arrows in the green, the red, that's just showing what the movement was from my power rankings to the actual ending. So we can just start at the top. I mean, We Taste Feet just absolutely destroyed my entire ranking. So that was unfortunate. Now, I will say, Win in Rome, my team last year, and Class in Session, I got them both perfectly right. 2 and 3 predicted correctly. We Taste Feet just really did me dirty. I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting them to just absolutely go crazy, because if you remember, that team was compromised of 4 out of the 5 same team members from season 12. And then they joined in season 13, and they changed 1 person, and it was Snark, who ended up being one of the best ADCs we've seen in a long time. And the entire team turned around. So they went from literally they did not win a single series in season 12 to season 13. They changed 1 player, and they're at the top of the entire league. And I played them myself. They were good. They were definitely very good. Going down is IQ, unfortunately, did not perform as well as I thought they would. I had them number 1. They ended up number 4. Dubs on Tap just barely was off on them. I had them 4. They were 5. FF15, I had them 8. They were 6. Paradox, I had them 5th, and they were 7th. Pyron Preferred Players, I had them 9. They finished 8. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you get the point. The only 2 that I got perfectly right was one Win in Rome and Class in Session. So according to ChatGPT, I already got my stats, and then clearly no English at the bottom. Unfortunately, they got disqualified. So I had them number 6. Actually, originally this was a 13 team power ranking, but I just took them out of the equation and moved everyone up. So, according to ChatGPT, here I got a C+ / B-. I couldn't decide, but my average placement error was 2.2 spots per team. And within 1 spot, I had 4 teams. 2 were the exact, and then PPP and Dot were within 1. So, I think that's it's decent, but I do want to do better, and that's why we're doing it again this year. So, on to this season's power rankings. All of that, and this was just the intro. How many minutes are we in? We're in about 10 minutes in. So here we go. We are going to get started. Season 14, and we're going to start out with the Lite League. So the Lite League, we have the first team here, Death and Bloom, you're going to see a couple things already on the screen. Like I mentioned before, 2-league player is what I'm calling it. That means the player is going to be playing in both the Stout League and the Lite League, and they're on the main roster of both of those teams. Now, this first team is Death and Bloom, and this is actually one of the higher rated teams. If you look at their player ratings, they are, let's see, actually, they're tied for number 2 on the highest rated players, or highest salary team, I guess, at 12 points out of the possible 13. And this team is interesting. It has 2 rookies, which I believe at least Dragon was supposed to play last season, but he didn't end the season with the team that he was playing with. So I can't remember what happened there, but so this should be interesting. I think this team is pretty solid. I mean, definitely some newer faces all around. Goat King Beard maybe has played 1 season. Hungry Hobbit, I think 1 season as well. This is the only real veteran, Elviana, aka Lucy. Lucy has played in a lot of seasons of Beer League, and Lucy came back last season, and so it'll be interesting to see if Lucy's veteran experience can help lead this team. And the highest rated player on this team is Hungry Hobbit, 3.5 points in the ADC role. So it's pretty well-rounded, I would say. It's pretty evenly spread out. But it'll be interesting to see how this team does. I think, if I can remember right, Goat King Beard was a support player last season, so he might be alpha rolled. But other than that, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Envy is 3 points, so it's usually nice to have a higher rated jungler because they do affect the map a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how he is able to impact the map in his first official season of the Beer League. And also, no logo. Death and Bloom, you got to get better at that. I hate to not see it. Actually, I was going to say I hate to see the AI logos, or I hate seeing no logo more than AI logos, but honestly, I hate seeing AI logos even more because anyone can do that. Might as well at least put like 10 minutes into it. Go in Canva, free website, make a logo. Now, the next one, which I believe they made their logo, it looks like it's not AI, is Piss Boys. They are returning, and I'm kind of keeping track of this over here on the stat sheet. On this side is this is what I'm going to be calling a returning team. A returning team is a team that has 3 or more players returning from the past season. So not past seasons, season 12 and beyond. No, just season 13. So last season, if you have 3 or more players on the same comp or on the same team, then you are quote unquote a returning team, and this is definitely a returning team. First of all, this team compromises of 4 out of the 5 of the same exact team last season, Piss Boys. So it's 2 seasons in a row they've played together, and the only new player is this guy right here, Muffin Man 508. But he's definitely played with some of these players before, and they took out a random hero who was their jungler last season, and 08 PM was actually their top laner. So they moved 08 PM down into the jungle, and then they replaced that top lane role with Muffin Man 508, who is a 2-league player, as well as Empirical, which they're actually on the exact same team, and they play the exact same roles in the Stout League. So that's kind of interesting. So they're going to get a lot of practice this season in the competitive setting, getting to play potentially up to 6 games, because we do best of 3s, 6 games a week. So that's a lot, and they're on the same team playing the same roles. So maybe a lot of chemistry building this season, but it'll be interesting to see how this team does. They are 10 points or 10.5 points out of the 13. Their 2, I guess, biggest point players are Human, Bane, and Empirical. This team was in a tight finals last season. They made it to the finals in the Lite League last season. So all 4 of these guys right here, except for the top laner, are the runner-ups from last season. And yeah, I think they're a solid squad. I think it's very evenly distributed. I think Muffin Man, for being a 1.5 player, is a good player. So I think that's going to help. That's going to go a long way. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't know if 08 PM usually plays jungle, or if he's just kind of taking one for the team. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but that'll be interesting to see, and looking forward to that. And the next team is Purple Moist Mumblers. Or is it members or mumblers? Now I'm confused, because I swear I gotta go look because I think I definitely wrote it wrong somewhere else. No, it's Mumblers. Okay, I definitely wrote it wrong somewhere else in this. So, but this team very interesting. It is a majority rookie team, 4 rookies. One rookie is actually playing he. Let's see, yeah, Envy, which was over here, and then Mia's Karate. I have no idea how to say that, but I'm going to take a shot. I think they're the only 2 rookies that are actually the two-way players. So the other 6 are returning players. And also, I'm going to start saying all their names. And unfortunately, I started with this team because I have literally no idea clearly how to pronounce that. But whatever that Chinese name is, and yeah, I have no shot of guessing that. And then Benny Bay, and then Ched, and then Mia Sakurade, and then Buran 11. So this will be an interesting team. Ched, clearly a returning member, so it might be his friends, or I don't know what exactly compromises this team, but it is a very low rated team. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. They are 6.5 points of the 13 points. So they're definitely pretty low rated. And sometimes that can build a nice narrative, but other times it just does not work out like TITS did last year in the Lite League. Chocolate milk break. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. It really is hard to judge a team like this when it's just a bunch of rookies. So I don't have a whole lot to say about this team, but looking forward to it. I would assume it's maybe like a bunch of friends playing together. And also their logo, definitely AI generated. Just going to throw that out there. And then the next team, Timo in the Shadows, the last place team of last year, they're coming in, and they are what I call a returning team. The bottom side of their map, the mid laner, Simino Mas, Stitch 810, and Papa Grog are all returning, and they were all on TITS last season. So this is a returning team. Last season, they had Easy Eddie in the jungle, and then Pat Jones in the top lane, which actually Flavortown Mayor was on their original roster last season, but did not end with them. So kind of coming back weirdly, even though he wasn't officially on the roster last season. But so he is still a rookie, as well as Bro Swagula. Yeah, this is also another pretty interesting team. Every single player on this team is 1 point, except for Simino Mas, 3 points in the mid lane. So he's got he might have some weight to carry here, but I believe in it, and I think these are yet again a team made of friends. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. But they're definitely not rated on paper very high, 7 points out of the 13 that they can be. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and yeah, hopefully we won't see a last place finish again. Hopefully they can improve. And then on the next team, you got in the top lane, you got Rock to Riches. You got top lane Butrito, jungle Sawdude, mid lane Moonlight, bot lane Her Depravity, and support Anime Lol 47. So no rookies on this team. I think this is the first team I want to say that has no rookies. Nope, that was Piss actually. Piss has no rookies. So this is the second team that has no rookies, and this team looks pretty well rounded, I think. And Her Depravity, a 2-league player, playing ADC in this league, and then support in the other one. So it should be interesting how this plays out. I honestly do think this is a pretty strong team, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't know the connection between all of these players, or how they got, if this is a free agency, let's get together type thing. But it should be a pretty interesting. Sawdude, if you know me, I love Sawdude, and I love trying to get him rated higher. This season, rated 2.5. I would have appreciated a 3, but and they still would have been within. I mean, you could have put that guy up to 4. Well, let's see. You could have put him up to you could have put him up to 4, and they would have still been in the cap. So just throwing it out there to the commissioners. But Moonlight, first season as mid lane. I do not believe she has played mid lane before. He's usually been a support player, so that'll be an interesting switch there. But Rito, I think this is his first time playing top lane. I believe he was playing ADC in the past, but yeah, all returning players to the beer league. It'll be interesting to see how this team rolls, and I could see this being a good team for sure in this league. And then I love the logo here. Totally made that themselves. That's just amazing. That's honestly, I should have done a power rankings of the logos. To be honest, I might even do that. Actually, I probably am going to do that after this. Whittle Wee Wedgens, love it. Zesty Queso in the top lane, Mercenary Wolf in the jungle, Glow Aftershock in the mid lane, Vermilion in the bot lane, and then Pichiku as the support. This is kind of an interesting one. Pichiku, last season was the top laner, and this is also another returning team. So there's 3 total returning teams, and there's only 4 teams last season in the Lite League. So 3 out of the 4 returned with 3 or 4 or 5 members of their squad last season. So last season, the returning members were Mercenary Wolf, Vermilion, and Pichiku. But Pichiku was in the top lane, so changing up some things a little bit. And Vermilion was in the mid lane, I believe, last season. So they've brought in Zesty Queso, which is a pretty dang good player, and then they brought out Joe, aka the Arch Lector, aka Glow Aftershock, into the mid lane, and he hasn't played in a while. I don't remember exactly how many seasons it's been, but it's been a little bit. So that's fun to see him back in the league. I've played with him. He's a great dude and fun to play with. So this team excites me. It's just this is gonna be a fun team to watch, I think, and also I think they're gonna be good. So double good. But it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. But I just right off the rip, I think this is going to be a really, really good team. And also shout out to Mercenary Wolf, Vermilion, and Pichiku because they won the championship last year. So these are the last season championships. And also shout out to Mr. Buttrito from Rock to Riches because he was also a beer league champion as he was teamed up with a few of these guys on this WWW team. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting time here as Zesty Queso is actually the highest rated player in the entire league. And no, I'm sorry, he's second highest rated. There's actually one more player rated higher, but he's definitely the highest rated top laner. So I think this could be a good Zesty Queso season. We'll see how it pans out, but looking forward to that. And then TBD also doesn't have okay, this is just bad. They don't have a name or a logo. JWM, come on, boy. You got to do something. And so this is an interesting team. Also, I'm not going to go all the way back, but I will say I've dubbed some players just like last season as value players. Sawdude was the first value player that we've seen so far, and then on the last screen, Mercenary Wolf and Glow Aftershock. I believe both of those guys are value players in my opinion. And what a value player is each player is ranked a certain amount, and I believe that these players are ranked either criminally low or they're just really efficient in their rating. Like if you're 1.5 points and you're just dominating every single game, that would make you a value player, even in the Lite League, especially in the Stout League if you're doing crazy stuff in the Stout League. But yeah, so I think those 3 kind of constitute that. And the reason I bring that up is because Lynch Draco here in the top lane, I believe he is a value player in my opinion. And talking about the highest rated player in the entire league it's the rookie on the screen. As I'm actually going to go through the roster first, but Lynch Draco in the top lane, JWM, I believe his jungle debut in the Beer League, and he's played every single season of the Beer League. We're in season 14. Every single season. PDX Stein has played almost every single season of the Beer League. He's played 13 of the 14, I believe. I'm doing all this from memory, and I don't have this over here. And then the Tark Master making his debut as the ADC for TBD. And then I'm just going to say Kite is the highest rated player in the entire league, and it is a support player, and it is a rookie. So Kite will be interesting to see. I'm excited for this team. yet again think this team could be very good. They have a value player here. They have JWM, which if he was in the top lane, I'd feel even better about. But not to say he's a bad jungler, but I've just never seen him play jungle. Bromstein can have his really good games, can also have some interesting ones, and I'm sure he knows that as well. And then you have this highest rated player in the entire league. So a lot of things I like about this team. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then the next team, love the logo. It's simple, but it's very unique, I feel like, and they've definitely made it, I believe. HCKY Esports, a team full of rookies, 5 rookies, and I believe, this is the first team that we've looked at that have the first of the 6 teams I've mentioned earlier that have an entire team of rookies, which makes it really hard to judge, but I will go ahead and give as much commentary as I can, starting with the top laner, Dr. Gregory House. That's just a dope name. I don't know why, but I feel like Dr. Gregory House matches the vibe of HCKY Esports and this logo. Why? I have no idea. Also, Joy-Con John. Same thing. I don't know why, but it just matches. And then Brick logo, or Brick in the jungle. And then Joy-Con John in the middle lane, which whoever's casting their games, that's going to be fun. Joy-Con John and then Dr. Gregory House. Like, that's just going to be fun to cast. And then the Fart Doctor in the ADC role. And then the support Duba. And there's not a whole lot I can say about this team because clearly they're all rookies. But the Fart Doctor is their highest rated player at 3 points ADC. And they're a total of 9 points out of the 13. So they're kind of middle of the pack, but maybe a little bit on the bottom edge of it. But it'll be interesting to see how this team does. I guess this is a good time to bring it up. Is the stats, in my opinion, of actually I'll show both of these really quick. Let me just make sure that's showing up on the page. Yeah, but I'm actually going to zoom in here. So rookie winning teams, this means that the majority of the team was a rookie. These are the seasons, and we've had 3 out of the 13 seasons, which is a 23.08% success rate, and this is winning the entire thing. So 23% doesn't look like a big number, but considering there's not always a whole lot of full rookie teams, it's actually a pretty big number, but it has been a while since a full-time or full majority rookie team won. It's been since season 8. So it has been, this will be 6 seasons now that a fully or a majority rookie team has won the beer league. So there is some past history that helps their case of being a full rookie team. Now on the other side is this team, and I believe this is season 2, is when I was talking about discount players, I really think discount players make a big difference. In my opinion, I went back and I discounted the people that I thought were too lowly rated, either because they eventually got rated higher or they just have always been criminally underrated. Zesty Queso, JWM, Really Bad Zed, Impex. I could throw out a few others, but we can start there. But you can see a trend. In my opinion, if 2 or more discounted players play with each other, it's a good sign. You're getting a lot of value out of 2 discounted players on a team. So the most recent one, and this is actually season 13. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think maybe this is what. Yeah, this is what's going on. 13. In season 13, I believe Dot had 2 discounted players. Con Artist played out of his mind for what he was ranked, and then Panic Sugar came in late in the season, played out of his mind for what he was ranked. Just gapping like every single top laner casually. And not to say the other players on the team were not clearly had a huge impact, but I think it plays a big role. Same thing with like Bernie and Eric 29 was criminally rated low in this season. Stone G, same thing. Stone G again. You see repeats because sometimes these players never get an increase like a JWM or a Really Bad Zed. Impex, same thing. I've had him on here 3 times. Really Bad Zed on here 3 times. JWM on here twice. And I think it really does add up. I mean, this season when I was on this team with Bop, as soon as I saw that we had Impex and Really Bad Zed, even before the season started, I was like, this is over. Like 2 of the best discount players on the same team. So you have to pay attention to that in my rankings because it has some weight. I believe. But anyways, back to it. This is our first rookie team, and then on to the next team, class in session, a beer league dynasty here. Our first one that we've covered so far, but really good teams in the past, so it should be interesting to see how this plays out here. And let me pull back up my stat page here. It should be interesting to see how this one plays out. I think I like this team, but I think they have a lot to prove. Hernandez teaches never has played jungle in his time in the beer league, so it's his jungle debut. Hernandez teaches and Caress, both 2-league players, and both on the same team in the Stout League, in both on different positions. So Caress is mid lane here. In the Stout League, he's going to be the ADC, and then Hernandez teaches is going to go back to his main role, support in the Stout League. So that should be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But Caress is more of a, from what I understand, more of a mid player than an ADC. So I feel like this is his main role here. But yeah, two league players here, and then a couple rookies. But going through it, Smep in the top lane, Hernandez teaches in the jungle, Caress in the mid lane, and then Mr. Player 2 in the ADC, and then Rogue Otters in the support. So I believe Rogue Otters has played with these guys before. He might have even been on CR before. I don't have that in front of me, but I believe that could be the case. But this should be an interesting team. I think that it's pretty well rounded. They don't really have any necessarily standout player that's super highly rated. Cress is their highest rated player at 2.5 points, but nothing crazy. And they are total out at 8.5 points, so it should be an interesting one to see. But I always love this logo. I like this dynasty. It's fun to see teams continue to play with each other and carry on that I guess dynasty or brand. This is a entirely rookie team, the second out of the 6. Imperial Legion, the last team that registered for Pure League. Now this logo, I could see it either way. I could see this being ChatGPT'd for sure, or AI, but I could also see someone making this. I don't think it's out of the realm. I think that's some talent for sure, I would say, if they're making that by themselves. But so we'll see. I don't know on that. I'll have to get back to you on that. But rating wise, also a tougher one to do because they're all rookies. But what I can say about this team is, I'm not going to go all the way back, but the only team to be fully salaried out was TBD, the one with Lunch Draco, JWM, PDX, Promising. They're the only team to hit 13 points to the cap. So that's kind of something to look out for. But this team is at 10.5 on the cap. And starting on the top lane, we got Weak Side Specia, and then Better Jungler in the Jungle. Makes sense. And then Slica in the middle lane, and then Leviathan, and then in the ADC, and then Jose in the support. So, it should be interesting to see how this goes. I think this one's a little bit easier to read. They have a 3-point jungler and a 3.5 top laner, so I think they're definitely going to be working through their top side here. Probably, which works well in this new season. Topside, my gosh, top lane is so broken, it's crazy. The champions in that position are just disgusting. But that's for another time. So this should be a pretty good team if I had to guess. So it's hard to judge, but I think I favor this team over the last full rookie team in Hickory Esports. So I prefer Imperial Legion. So here are the stats on paper. So we start in the top lane, like I said, Zesty Queso, highest rated in the top lane. And like I said over here, Kite is the highest rated player in the entire league, 4.5. But you can kind of see I did the average, which is just literally you guys know what an average is. And median is the number right in the middle, which this is 10 teams, so it's divided by the 2 middle ones. So it's kind of interesting to see, where everything lays out. This is a pretty big average here, 2.35 compared to the next closest 2.05 compared to 1.6, which is really where I think Kite comes into play. This is a massive point advantage. Almost 3 points above the average. So that's something to look at. That's something to consider. But we'll start here on the top side. So pretty interesting, 2.05 average, median of 1.75. It's pretty spread out. I don't think, there's, that 1 point gap between weak side Specia and Goat King Beard. But other than that, it's really, evenly spread out. And I think Zesty's going to dominate the top pool this season, like he does usually in every league he plays in. And it'll be interesting. But I think top lane is going to have a big impact this season. So if if you have a value player up there like Lynch Draco, I think it's gonna go a long way. Now in the jungle, you have a surprisingly the exact same average, 2.05, a little bit higher of a median though, 2. So even closer together, bunched up together. So there's really no like massive advantage here. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. 0-8 p.m. Like I said, first time jungling in the Bear League. JWM, first time jungling in the Bear League. So a lot to prove here. Hernandez teaches, first time jungling in the Bear League. A lot of first time junglers. So I think this is going to be kind of, if a guy like Mercenary Wolf has a good season, that could go a long way, that type of thing. Or if Sawdude, this could be a really good Sawdude season. I could totally see that happening. So that kind of just sheds light. And to be honest, I did a lot more research this year than I did last year on the power rankings. So things like that I did consider, okay, how does each role line up and what's the importance of each role? So going into the mid lane, a little bit lower of an average, 1.95, median of 1.75, which is the same thing as top. And these guys, it's yet again pretty spread out, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how much. I think mid is important, but I think it's becoming less and less important in my opinion. Like if you don't have the strongest mid laner ever, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it affects the jungler the most, honestly. But I think there's more important roles now, I think, and just better champions in other roles. So not to say these guys aren't important, but that's just kind of my take on mid. And it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Human Bane, Simi Namas at the top. I think both those guys are really good. So that'll be fun to see. And then in the ADC role, you got the highest rated average of 2.35 and a median of 2.5. So a lot of highly rated people here. So this should be pretty interesting. The bot lane matchups should be very interesting, especially since all these ADCs are the highest and their supports are on average the lowest. So interesting to see how that pans out. Usually, I would say historically in the Bear League, it's usually the jungle that's the highest rated. But here we see the ADC is actually the highest rated. So a lot of guys coming back that are just vets at this point. Vermilion, Her Depravity, Empirical. Those guys just right away, really. Oh wow, I know those names. Hunger Hobbit is coming back. I wouldn't say he's a vet though. I think he's played one season. So, but kind of something interesting here is look at the rookies. Rookie. So other than these top 4 guys, every single other person is a rookie. And I don't think that is how it is on any other role. No. Every other role has quite a bit of diversity of vets and rookies. So kind of interesting, a lot of interestingness in this ADC role. Highest rated, most amount of rookies. I'm looking forward to seeing how these bot lanes go in Lite League. And then in the support role, like I said, Kite, 4.5, highest rated player in the league. So hopefully Kite can live up to the rating. And it's always hard with rookies. You don't really know. I would say rookies are usually rated. It's hard. They're either usually rated, which literally these are the two possibilities, but they're usually either rated way too high or they are criminally rated low. Like they just absolutely take over the league. So I could see it either way. I don't know. But here, it's a pretty good mix of like I said, a lot of these people are 1 point players, but it is a mix of vets and rookies. But a lot of 1 point players here. So I guess this kind of just gives you a light into where people find their value and their points. and where to put them. And we're at 40 minutes right now, so I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit. Or maybe, yeah, I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit. So Lite power rankings, here we go. Probably most of you guys just skipped right to this. Who knows? If I was you, I might do the same thing. But here we are, Lite power rankings 1 through 10, and we're about to break it down. Let me get some chocolate milk, though, before that. Shout out Nesquik. The best chocolate milk, the powder. So good. So good. So 1 through 10, here we go. And I'm going to give you some reasons why I'm putting these teams here. The first team, drum roll please, coming in at number 10. Actually, you know what? I'll play a little song. I'll finish out this beer league song. Play it in the background a little bit. And at number 10, Purple Moist Mumblers, which this is exactly where I'm not going to escape because I would show the entire show. Actually, that's going to annoy me, so I am actually going to come in here and edit this really quick. Mumblers. I put members. No idea why I did that, but it is now fixed. And now we're going to switch back. Purple Moist Mumblers. I got them last. It's kind of with TITS last season. I put them last because they were the lowest rate. Actually, I don't even know at the time if I knew they were the lowest rated. Just looking at their team, I was like, yeah, this is not a winning formula in my opinion. Same thing here. Purple Moist Members is the lowest rated player team, and 6.5 out of 13. I think they're going to struggle here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some crazy stuff happens, but unless these rookies just go berserk because they have 4 out of 5 players who are rookies, I'm just not seeing a whole lot out of this team. Similar to TITS last season, the paper doesn't always prove right, but I think a lot of times it does. So number 10 for Purple Moist Mumblers, and right behind them, I hate to do it to them, but Timo in the shadows, yet again at the bottom of the ratings of my power rankings. This season, they have 4 1-point players and a 3-point player, so they're at 7, so 0.5 above Purple Moist Mumblers. And also, for reference, I don't just rate these teams off of ratings, because honestly, I think ratings, in my opinion, some of them are definitely off. Player ratings, that is. So this is just my personal opinion, and personally, I think the rating actually does properly show these teams. So on this team, like I said, they're the second lowest rated team, and I think it showed last season, and I think it's going to show again, unfortunately. Not to say they're not going to have fun, but this is a power ranking, and I do have to put someone somewhere, and it might hurt to hear it if you're on one of these teams, but people got to go somewhere. So Timo in the shadows in number 9. Maybe they'll prove me wrong this season, but I'm expecting them to be number 9. Number 8. It pains me to do this. CR, Class in Session, one of the dynasties of the beer league. I just don't think they got it this season, unfortunately. You got Hernandez trying out a new role, and then you got a bunch of, got a couple of rookies, and overall just not a whole lot of explosiveness in their team. I think, if anything, Cress is going to have to really go crazy this season, which it's possible for sure. I could totally see that, but he's not even, I would say, the best mid laner, so he might have some competition, I think, and so it'll be interesting to see how this team forms together. But I always believe in CR, but unfortunately this season I do believe in them, but I believe they're going to be number 8. In the 7th slot, the all rookie team, Hickory Esports. I do have them at 7. It is hard to rate these these teams that are all rookies, like I've said before. Pretty much all I have is their player rating, because it's not like I'm going to watch VODs on these players. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, rookie teams have had success. Could they be, that? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the edge of no one knowing you is a big deal. Now, by the end of the season, yeah, people are going to know you, what you play and how to scout you and stuff like that. But I think starting out it does help you a lot. So that's gonna be interesting to see how Hickory Esports does. But I got them going number 7. In the next slot is the other all rookie team. Right above them, Imperial Legion. Pretty much everything I just said about Hickory Esports could apply to Imperial Legion. They're slightly, they're slightly above. They're 1.5 salary above Hickory Esports, and but I really think I like their composition. Where they have their points allocated. Imperial Legion, 6.5 of their 10.5 is in the top and jungle, which I think those are. I was gonna say the 2 most impactful roles, jungle for sure, but then I would say support. So, but top lane's important this season. I think it's changed a lot, so that'll be fun to see. But I got them at number 6 in the power rankings. The next team, Death and Bloom, no logo. Like I mentioned, this is the first team we went over, and this is where it really gets tough for me. I think these top 5 could be interchangeable, in my opinion, to a degree. But I think I kind of wrestled back and forth. These bottom 5, I'm pretty firm on. Like now, will they land in these exact order? Maybe not, but I'm pretty firm that this is going to be the bottom 5, and this is going to be the top 5. If we'll see at the end of the season what happens, but I'm pretty sure. So Death and Bloom, very well-rounded team. I think they're tied for the second highest rated team at 12 points. And this one, I think it's just going to take a little bit for synergy, and that's why I put them at 5. I don't know if any of these players have played with each other before. They might have, but they also have a couple rookies coming in. So I think there's some things to figure out for sure. And but I do like their team, and I think they could definitely make a run. And I think also just if you didn't know this, it's best of 3, single round robin for both of these leagues, I believe. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to go look, actually. I'm not going to leave it up to suggestion. I was going to say maybe it's longer for Lite, but maybe their season's just shorter. Yep, their season is just shorter. So round robin into playoffs, and top 8 make it, I believe, in both leagues. So, I think Death and Bloom is going to make it, and I think they're going to be a top 5 team. And so that cutoff would be Class in Session, would be the last team, in my opinion, that's going to make the playoffs. And then next seed is Rock to Riches. I think this team looks really good as well. And honestly, I think this is kind of like I could see them being 4th, or I could totally see them being number 1. Like, I'm not sure. And there's honestly 2 teams that I feel that way about, but this is one of them. I think they have a lot of explosiveness. I think Butrito has some things to prove in the top lane. I think Moonlight has some things to prove in the mid lane. But if those 2 players, get it together, honestly, I really like this team. But without, any proof that they can perform highly in those roles, I'm going to put them at number 4 and feel pretty good about it. The next team, the no logo team again, TBD. This is the other team that I could totally see being number 1, or just really excelling. This is the only team to hit the entire cap. They have the highest rated player in the league. They have a value player in Lynch Draco, and also the last team had a value player in Sawdude. There's only four, in my opinion, four value players in the Lite League, and I think this team's going to be really good. JWM has to show what he can do in the jungle, clearly. But other than that, I just think it's a really well-rounded team. I think they're going to be really good. I could, honestly, before all of this, I was like, when I first started putting this together, I was like, man, this is the number 1 team, like right off the bat. It wasn't even because of their rating. I was just like, I just really like this team. Lynch Draco, like I said, I think he's undervalued. But then I was like, okay, I started thinking, well, JWM, he maybe doesn't play a whole lot of jungle. I'm not sure how much jungle he plays. So I was like, okay, that deducts some points. Bromstein can have some crazy games. That maybe deducts some points. So some things, and is this 4.5 support player actually 4.5s? We'll see. So because of those things, I put him number 3, but I do really like this team, and I could totally see them doing better than that. But for now, I have that, and kind of an anticlimactic 2-1, but I just think this is the reality. This is the mainly composed 4 out of 5 of the runner-ups last season. I have them being runner-ups again this season. Piss Boys. I think they're just a really well-rounded team, and I think they've played together before. The only really what if is 0-8 PM. Can you play jungle? If so, I mean, yeah, I don't really have any ifs. Like, I mean, if he can play jungle, they're chilling, and I think they have a strong chance of making it to the finals again, honestly. So we'll see. I mean, a lot more competition this year. Clearly the league went from 4. The Lite League went from 4 teams to 10. So that should be interesting. But yeah, I like this team. It's hard to bet against a team that made it to the finals and almost won the whole thing last season, and they only made one roster change. That looks pretty good. But as we saw with with We Taste Feet from season 13, one player move can make a big difference. They went from a terrible team to the best team in the league, and this team, maybe they go from the best team in the league to the worst team in the league, and then it's all on Muffin Man, and he's the reason why, the downfall. But the final team, drum roll please, the team that I said probably has the best logo, actually here, definitely the best logo, in my opinion, Whittle Weeg Wedgens, and they're definitely going to become Wedgens after this. It's hard to bet against these guys. I mean, when I was looking through it, I could see some movement like 2 through 4 specifically, like in the top 5, 2 through 4. I could see like, you don't switch one, switch the other. But number 1, honestly, I'm pretty like set on this. This is definitely the best team. I mean, you look at Zesty Queso, he's probably the best player in the entire league, in my opinion, even though he's not necessarily rated the best player. I mean, just historically, his beer league performances, I would say he's the best player in the entire league. And then you got Mercenary Wolf, and yet again, it goes back to this discount player thing that I was talking about. This is the only team, in my opinion, that has 2 discount players, and I mean, that's showed in the past. Like I said, I mean, I just showed you, like, how many teams was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. So 46.15% of the winning teams in the beer league have had at least, in my opinion, 2 discount players. And this is the same thing. I would be shocked if this team is not the best player or the best team. They have 2 discount players. Don't get me started. They have a commissioner on their team, Vermilion. So who knows? Maybe the games are just going to be rigged and the skill value won't even matter. But this team, it's exciting. They got rid of Buttrito and Crimson Chin after they won, and they replaced him with Zesty Queso. Like I just said, I believe the best player in the league, and Glow Aftershock, which is the Arch Lictor, and I think he's a really good player as well. Also a discount player, in my opinion. Yeah, it's going to be a fun team to watch, and I think they're going to be really good. Vermilion and Pichiku totally have chemistry already, and Mercenary Wolf, they all know each other in real life. I mean, that always helps. Yeah, it's going to be a hard team to beat. Not to, like, I know I just glazed them like crazy, but this is how I feel. And you can't deny my feelings. That's all I got to say. And, so that's gonna round it out. So number 1, you got Whittle Week Wedgens, and then number 2, you got Piss Boys. Number 3, TBD. Number 4, Rock to Riches. Number 5, Death and Bloom. Number 6, Imperial Legion. Number 7, Hickory Esports. Number 8, Class in Session. Number 9, Timo in the Shadows, and number 10, Purple Moist Mumblers. I'm excited to see how this pans out, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this. I'm not gonna lie. So let me know your thoughts in the comments or in the Discord or wherever. Talk trash to me, especially if you're on this side of the power ranking over here on this bottom 5. Show me up. So, on to the Stout League. Starting out with the Dynasty team of 2. This is an exciting team. I'm just excited. I mean, just looking at their team, I'm like, this is gonna be a fun team to watch. Bernie in the top lane, none of your business, and Slammer Jack. You just stop there. That top side looks disgusting. Will they have chemistry? I have no idea, but just based off the names, that looks like a really good top lane, or top side. So that'll be interesting. And then they brought in Submissive, which is a rookie, and then they brought in the classic L support. So this team is one of only 2 teams that are fully at the cap. So I think they're going to be good. I really do think they're going to be a good team. I think they will definitely be working through topside, but I think a lot does ride on submissive. I think if you're going to look at their flaws, it's going to be their bot lane. So can you take advantage of it? Because their bot lane is 4.5 and 2.5. So submissive is 4.5, L is 2.5, whereas their top side is 5.5 in Bernie, 6 in None of Your Business. This is their ratings, and then 6.5 in the mid lane. I think it's a solid team. So 2 more. Also, I love their logo. I think they made this legendary logo. 2 more. That's so sick. So I like this team. Next team, Bad Bunny Cerveza, which is a returning team from last year. They're not under the same name, which they were DOT last year, where they have at least 3 members returning, which is Tin Grand, Zor, and Dot Chaos. Also, they are the reigning champions of the Stout League, those 3 players, and they played on Dot. They are just missing Panicked Sugar, who was their top laner, and Conards, who was their jungler. They've replaced the jungler with Luke, who played with, I believe, Chaos, and definitely Chaos 2 seasons ago, I believe, and as the jungler. So he's not a rookie. This is his 2nd season, but he's pretty highly rated, 6 points. Luke is. And then, like I said, Dot Chaos in the top lane. And then our first time seeing a 2 league player, Mia Sakurade, and then Tin Grand and Zor. And in this league, Mia is playing the mid lane. So that'll be interesting to see which role they're better at. Because I believe, what were they in the Lite League? They were ADC. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Bad Bunny Cerveza, I think this is going to be a good team. They are also the 2nd team to hit the cap, 25 points right at the cap. So should be interesting to see how this plays out. But this looks like a good team to me. And also just noting, Dot Chaos was the mid laner last season. They moved him over to the top lane, so this will be his first time playing in the top lane, which will be interesting. And then they brought in Mia and then Luke. So the next team, IQ Dead Zone, gotta love that logo. In the top lane, Rihi, and then in the jungle, Eric29. In the mid lane, Benson. In the bot lane, Cress and Hernandez Teaches. This is kind of like 2 worlds collide. You get the IQ with led by Rihi clearly, and then he kind of just stole CR. Eric29, Cress, and Hernandez Teaches, which actually, even though this is IQ, this is actually a returning team, and it's actually CR from last season. They have 3 out of the 5. They got rid of Bernie and Stone G, and they replaced them with Benson and then Rihi. So Eric29, Caress, and Hernandez Teaches were all on the same team last season as CR. And yet again, 2 league players here, and no rookies on this team, which is the first team so far to have no rookies. So it should be interesting to see. I mean, you just look at this player. I mean, you just look at this team and it's fun. Like, I want to play on this team. Like, hey, you got a sub spot open or what? Because this looks like a fun team for sure. And it looks like a good team. And, you just, like, start at Rihi and Benson. Like, I feel like that's if you put, like, Bjergsen and, like, Jensen in, the same team. And you put 1 top, 1 bot. Like, 2 of the most legendary beer league mid laners both playing on the same team. That's going to be fun to watch. And I think, honestly, I feel good for Benson because I feel like he has not, and I could be just completely wrong. Now I got to go look it up before I say something stupid, but Benson, where are you? Yeah, he's played 7 seasons, 0 finals appearances. This guy has not been on a good team really ever. And I hope this, clearly I'm playing in this league, so I don't want him to win the whole thing, but I hope he gets some success here because he's been waiting on it for a while. And, talking about that actually, if you look at the seasons played and then the champions, so Rihi is also the highest tied with Jubilee for the most seasons played without winning a championship. Now he's made it to 2 championships, but he's not won one. I think I'm a slight IQ fan this season. I like the composition. Should be fun one to watch. They're 22 points rated out of the 25. And then in the next team, Team Reflex, an all-rookie team, our third all-rookie team. And this is top lane Rich Girl Cat, in the jungle GNM9, and then in the mid lane Akori, and the ADC role Blissful Jinjo, and in the support role Caffeine Abuse. This looks like a good team. I don't know anything about them, but just looking at them on paper, they're extremely well-rounded. Like I said, I don't think mid lane's that important. And not to say Corey's going to do bad or anything, but that is their lowest rated player, which I don't even think is a big deal, honestly, with how this meta is. So that should be interesting to see how that goes. And then, yeah, I mean, they just have high rated players all around. Blissful Jinjo, 7.5. GNM9 is 6 points. So definitely some highly rated players, and if they live up to their name, this could be a really good team. So I'm excited to see what happens with Team Reflex. Based off their logo, I'm gonna assume that's AI generated. That could be something they made. I could see it, but I'm gonna assume the AI generated. So a little disappointing in that. But if it's not, let me know. And then in the next is the Driftless skill shot, and my gosh, have I never seen a more AI generated. Actually, I have seen a more AI generated team photo, and you'll see it later. But Driftless skill shot is another all-rookie team. This is our 4th out of 6 all-rookie teams, and definitely an AI-generated logo, which is always disappointing. But 5 rookies, Velociraptor in the top lane, Agdam in the jungle, Slouch in the mid lane, Mabs in the ADC role, and J-Rod 744 in the support. This team, it's not the highest rated team. It's 20 points out of 25, and but they are very evenly distributed. No player below 3 points, so they're all relatively rated high, or in that middle range. So this should be an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know. J-Rod's their highest rated player, so that should be interesting to see how much of an impact he can make as the support. I think the support can really, really run the map in the competitive fives, so that should be a fun one to see. And then in the next one, you got Inland Otters, which I would assume the AI generated this logo, but it's so great, and it just that looks like just a fun vibe. Ottertude, I freaking love that. And if they didn't, that's like one of the best logos I've ever seen in the WIR League. So I hope they created that by themselves. I'm gonna assume not, but that's a dope logo either way. I usually hate on AI, but that's a pretty dope logo, honestly. Inland Otters, starting on the top side, I'm really cute, playing top lane. Lift, playing jungle. Envy the Reaper, which is a 2-league player, playing mid lane, and then Stan 5CA playing ADC, and then Her Depravity playing support. So this team, interesting. Envy the Reaper is playing jungle in the other league, now playing mid here. Her Depravity playing ADC, which is his main role, but now he's playing support here, so he's going to be off-rolled. I don't know if he's ever played support in the beer league. And then 4 rookies, so it'll be interesting to see how this thing pans out. But I'm Really Cute is the highest rated player here, 5.5 points, and they're rated 19 out of 25 total points for their team salary cap. So I could see something happening here, but yeah, kind of hard to judge right off the bat. But pretty evenly disputed or spread out their points are. And then the next team, Win in Rome, yours truly. We finally made it. My back is sore. That's me, and I'm the jungler of this team and the captain. And this team, talking about a returning team, this is absolutely a returning team with the exact same logo, and 4 out of the 5 players are returning, which is the most out of any of the returning teams. The second most was, and actually, I take that back. Piss was 4 out of 5 as well in the Lite League. But this is, and actually PPP that's coming up is 4 out of 5. So there's 3 teams total that have 4 out of 5 players returning, and this is one of them. Starting in the top lane, our newest member, JWM, 2-league player. He's playing jungle in the other league. And then me, My Back is Sore, Really Bad Zed, WIR Rebellion, and Exelarox. We are the runner-ups from last year. Unfortunately, we did not win it. Still, I'm sad about that. I've been thinking about that all season, or all off season, and I'm pissed. and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take some names, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. I'm excited to have JWM on our team. Last year we had Elias who killed it, but he is unfortunately over our cap now, and we are at 24.5, so we're 0.5 off the total cap. And we got JWM, which I think is an incredible player, and yeah, I think we are going to be a team to be feared, is how I would put it. And then the next one, clearly AI generated, but kind of a fun one. But Bourbon Nasher in the top lane, you got Tai1198 coming back for another season. He played last season. Baron Wolf, rookie in the jungle. Scone or Shone, Shion. I don't even know how to say. I don't know, Scion, but it's Scion with a C. Shion or Escoin. No idea. But he's in the mid lane, coming back again. Umbreon level 100 as a rookie, and then Nescap is a rookie as well. This is an interesting team. I could totally see this team doing some things. Nescap is their highest rated player, 6.5 points. Now they do have they have not the lowest. No, okay, there's quite a bit. So I was gonna say the lowest individually rated player in the league, but that's actually not true at all, because there's a bunch of 1.5 point players, and Baron Wolf is 2.5. But yeah, I'm gonna assume this is gonna be a rough year for Baron Wolf. Just right off the rip, he is lower rated, and I think unfortunately there's a lot of highly rated junglers, like there is every year. So it could be tough, but we'll see. Hoping the best for this team, but yeah, it's gonna be another fun one to see. Mainly another majority rookie team. And then the most AI generated logo ever, congratulations, is Personal Pepper Power, PPP. Last season they were PPP, but they were Pyrone's preferred players, so they've changed the actual team name, but not the abbreviation. So, but my goodness, is that the most AI generated crap ever on the top left? But this is also a returning team. They have only made one change, and that is no longer will Jubilee be their ADC. It'll be Empirical, which is totally on brand for them. Empirical has played with Pyro and Catalyst 2 like many times, 4 or 5 seasons at least. So this is totally a classic PPP and Pyro and led team. Muffin Man 508. And like I said, this is the team where Muffin Man 508 and Empirical are on the exact same team, playing the exact same roles, which are the only 2 players doing that, or on the same teams in both Lite and Stout, and on the exact same roles. So Muffin Man 508 in the top lane, Pyroan in the jungle, Biscuit Boy 805 in the mid lane, Empirical in the ADC, and Catalyst 2. Catalyst 2 in the support role. So, I mean, any team led by Pyroan has potential. That's what I always think, and this is a classic one. All these guys have played together. I think this might have literally been the exact. You know what? Now I'm gonna go look. This might have been the exact same team from a couple seasons ago, and it is PB&J. They played season 12 together, and it was literally the exact same team. So that should be fun. Cannot remember if they had a great season that year or not, but yeah. So this team is running it back, which I think can help. We're doing that pretty much the exact same thing, and the more time you get with people, the better the results usually. And looking at time, we are an hour and 8. Honestly, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then, so yeah, looking forward to this team. That'll be interesting. And then TDX. At first, when I saw this team's name, they didn't have a logo yet. I said TDX. That is such a weird name. After seeing this logo, this is probably the best logo I've ever seen in my life. If they made this, that is incredible. It's a tad, a frog. That is dope. That's got to be the best logo I've seen ever. So that's sick. I freaking love their logo. TDX in the logo. That's dope, and it makes a frog. Dude, that's so cool. So I freaking love that. But their team, unfortunately, is the lowest rated team, and they're 14.5 points out of the 25. That's quite large. And talking about quite large, let's kind of just quickly go over that history real quick. And the fact that last season, and this is kind of just brief history. Last season, lowest team in Stout was 16 with 3 teams at cap. last season, lowest team in Lite was 9 with no teams at cap. This season, 3. This season there's 2 teams that are at the cap. So let's rewind. Let me make this more simple. In the Stout League, 16 was the lowest last season. This season, it's 14.5, and this is this team. And last season, there was 3 teams at the cap. This season, there's only 2. Now in the Lite League, the lowest team was 9, and this season, the lowest team is 6.5. And there was no teams at the cap last season. There's 1 this season. So just some interesting facts there. But back to TDX. Yeah, I guess that's how you say that. But Lawrence in the top lane, I'm totally going to butcher this. Kazu, I believe, in the jungle. Scarlet Q in the mid lane. Ninja Monkus in the ADC role. And Bubble in the support. This team, I'm just going to be honest, I think they're going to struggle really hardcore. They barely are above the cap. They're 1.5 points above the Lite League cap. And we saw this last year. And, to give them some hope, the team that was rated the lowest last year actually did not come in last. I think they came in 10th, or 10th out of, no, I think they came in, I think they came in 10th out of 12th, which I rated them 12th. So, you know what, who knows? All rookie team though, that'll be interesting to see. So yeah, this is our 5th out of the 6th rookie teams. And then BW, Get Wasted, one of the best. And I would assume they made this logo. I have no idea though, but I'm going to assume they did. But then that's a cool logo. Barren Wastelands, they put I don't know if the S was always there or what. I don't know, it just looks different for some reason, but I guess it's always been there. BW, Beer League Classic. I mean, it's a dynasty for sure. In the top lane, Castro. In the jungle, Commander Clutch. In the mid lane, Too Spicy For You. In the ADC role, BW Waps. And in the support, BW Oni 1. Now, interesting enough, Castro was a part of BW, I believe. Now I'm kind of interested. I looked at this earlier, but now I can't remember. Yeah, he was on BW in season 11, but especially Waps and Only One, definitely guys that you would relate to BW. Now these 2 rookies, I've never heard of them, but that'll be interesting to see them bring in a couple rookies. And not only is this a rookie, but this is a 7.5 rated rookie in the mid lane. I believe the highest rated mid laner in the entire league. I could be wrong about that, but nope. Yep, that is the highest point mid laner in the league. And then Commander Clutch, one of the lowest pointed players in the league, 2 points. So yeah, best of both worlds there. And then Castro, one of the highest rated top laners at 7 points. He actually could be do they have the highest solo lane? Wow, they have the 2 highest rated solo lanes, and they're on the same team. So that'll be interesting. I knew they were highly rated, but I did not realize they were both number 1 in their position. So this should be an interesting team to watch out for. Clearly, it seems like a lot of skill on this team, so that should be fun. And then, got the BW Classics in the bot lane, so that should be fun. And I don't think the only one... Now I gotta go look. I'm gonna go look real quick. And this is why I have the archives pulled up right next to me, because I can do things like this really quick, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. The only one has played support before. Has played 1 season of support. Now, Waps, I don't know if he's played support or not. Or I'm sorry, ADC. No, what am I talking about? He's played ADC 3 times, bro. Okay. So that should be interesting and a fun one to watch, but looking forward to that. And then finally, you got JAT, which this is really confusing me. And if anyone on this team wants to reach out to me or just put it in the league chat to clarify my mystery, last year there was a team called Gin and Tonic. Not without the S, and they had a logo. That team played. They did not do very well, and I don't see any of their players returning, like Discord or like username. I don't see any matches. Now this team comes in, puts an S in front of it, doesn't have a logo, and doesn't have any of the same players. Is there any relation between these 2 teams? I have no idea, but if you're willing to ease my mind and solve that mystery, I would love that. Because Funky Z, I believe, was the guy that ran last year's JAT team in Gin and Tonic. I mean, it was like the exact same thing. So yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea. I don't know if there's any correlation there or not, but Gin and Tonics is here this season, and they have Val Devin in the top lane, General Panda in the jungle, Melly Coco in the mid lane, 6 foot Cuban in the ADC role, and I don't know, Brixta, I guess is how I would say that, in the support. This one should be interesting as well. Devin is their top rated player, 6.5 points. They're at 20.5 in the 25 point availability for the salary cap. So, yeah, it should be an interesting team. They're on the lower end of the salary, but I guess of the teams made up of right now. So it should be interesting. I think, if you have a really good top lane, honestly, I think that can do a lot of damage. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. But looking forward to it. This is our last full team of rookies because this is the last team. So here we go. The stats on the paper for the Stout League. As I mentioned before, Castro and Too Spicy for You are on the exact same team. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think that has ever happened. And I could be completely wrong because I don't keep up with that. But pretty interesting. But you're looking at the averages, like I mentioned before, Jungle 4.88, which is absolutely absurd because that is 1.3 points on average higher than support, which is a crazy number in my opinion. So yeah, Jungle's pretty stacked this season. And then the next highest rated is the top lane, and then the ADC role and mid and support. So kind of going through it. Top lane, honestly, a good chocolate milk break. 1 second. Almost done. A pretty good mixture of, you look at this, 3 points and above, pretty much everyone in top lane. That's pretty crazy. And also the median is the same for jungle in top lane, which is kind of interesting. But a good mix of people returning and rookies. So I think this is going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to like Dot Chaos being up there, Rihi being up there, Bernie, Castro and Val. Castro's played before, but it'll be interesting to see how these. Actually, now I'm kind of curious. Did Castro play top lane when he played? I remember the name, but I just don't remember much about him. Yeah, he did play top lane. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But definitely some JWM clearly there. There'll be some interesting battles here on the top side. I think that's gonna be a really fun lane. Tai I thought had a good season last year, even despite his team. But I think it's going to be fun. I think this is going to be a really fun one. And, you sprinkle in a few rookies clearly, so that always spices some things up. But in the jungle, you got a highly rated jungle pool here, especially on the top side of things. Myself, 8 points, which is interesting. And then Pyroan, 7.5. Eric, 29, 7 points. Nunya, 6. So there's, you stop there. Those are probably 4 of the most well-known junglers in the beer league. I guess veteran-wise. So that'll be interesting. And then really, you stop there and you just look below. It's all rookies, weirdly enough. Now Luke has played before. He's played 1 season, but he doesn't have a whole long track record. So he's not a rookie, but everyone else below him is a literal rookie. So that should be pretty interesting to see. And I really think that gives it an edge to these top 4 guys who have played before, and these guys don't know anything about us. So I have a feeling even Luke, I'll throw him in there. They're going to have a pretty nice advantage here. And it'll be interesting to see how GM9 keeps up with these other junglers that he's rated equally with. But yeah, somehow I'm the highest rated player in the entire beer league, which I think is the first time ever happening. But I guess that's what happens when an item is busted and you gain 800 LP in like 3 days. And mid lane, and you know what? The only thing I'll say on that is I'm going to have to prove it, Do I think the rating is interesting? Absolutely. but I'll try to prove that I'm 8 points. And in the in the mid lane, you got quite a bit of names here. Benson, Slimer Eye Jack, Really Bad Zed. I mean, those are all very popular names. And then on the flip side, you have a lot of rookies. Too Spicy, Slouch, Scarlet, going all the way down. All those guys are rookies. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah, I don't have a huge take on this. I mean, clearly there's a spread here, just like all these other rules. 8 to 2, that's 6. 7 to 1.5, that's 5.5, and then 7.5 to 2, 5.5 as well. So it'll be interesting. I think you're gonna see some good matches here on the top. I would say like top 8. But yeah, after that, there might be some difficult matchups. But looking forward to that. And then ADC, you got the rookie Blissful Jinjo, which is rated higher than 10 grand, which 10 grand, if you watched last season, that guy's cracked. And you've watched last season, WIR Rebellion, also cracked, in my opinion. So it's interesting. So this guy must be a freaking legend. Blissful Jinjo. So I'm excited to see him and see what he's got. But other than that, you got a whole lot of, well-known names. BWAPs, WB Waps, Empirical, Caress, clearly you always got some rookies thrown in there. So this it looks pretty even to me, I think. So, I mean, I think, you got your top 3 ADCs, and then you kind of just got a mishmash of, okay, the rest, in my opinion. So I think this is the biggest gap, from one player to the next in this sense. So that should be interesting to see, because, I mean, yeah, that'll just be interesting to see. And then the support, you got the lowest average, which is interesting because that's the same as it is in the Lite League. Both are the lowest, and 3.58, which is quite low. Nestcap is quite a bit higher than the next person, 6.5. So it'll be interesting to see how Nestcap as a rookie can make an impact. And J-Rod, also a rookie, 5 points. Caffeine, Abuse, and Brexta, also rookies. So out of the top 5, 4 of them are rookies. So that's kind of interesting to put on paper. And that's why I like doing this. You can see things that you wouldn't be able to see on whatever, I guess the beer league site and stuff. You can pull different stats. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, should be interesting to see. Her Depravity, first timing, support. No, I'm sorry. Did I say he played support before? No, well, now I gotta go look it up. I've looked up all this other stuff in here. Let's see. Her Depravity right here. Nope, he has never played support, but fun fact, actually, good thing I looked this up. Once he plays this season, and if he finishes this season on the main roster, he will be the second player ever in Beer League history to play all 5 roles. So congratulations. Only player to do that before him, let me make sure I got this right before I say this. It's on the history page of the Beer League archives. Yep, Rowdy Fan, which is one of my old teammates, is the only player to have played all 5 roles in the Beer League in his career. But anyways, so it should be interesting to see how this goes. Zelarox is my support. I think he's a baller. Yeah, so that should be interesting to see. I think he's criminally underrated. But yeah, so those stats on paper. And finally, what are we at? We're at 1 hour and 23 minutes. So yeah, this is a lengthy video. And if you made it here all the way through, congratulations. You should get yourself a cup of chocolate milk. And finally, without further ado, this is it. I'm going to put on some music here for this, because this is the power rankings for the Stout League in Season 14. Which song should I play? We'll go... We'll do these... Oh. All right, so starting it out, number 12. And yet again, if you take this personally, especially in this league, I'll chat me in game. I'm about to be in your game. We're going to face off. So if you got a problem with me, come at me, invade me, I'll be in the jungle. And at number 12, starting it out, the best logo I've ever seen, but unfortunately, they're going 12, unfortunately. It is a team full of rookies. It's hard to judge already, but they're 14.5, only 1.5 above the Lite League salary cap, so I just don't think they're going to stand a chance. I'm going to be honest here. I would be surprised if they get a single series. I'm not even joking. And I'm not trying to be like that dude, but it's gonna be tough. And clearly, I always hope for the underdog to prove me wrong. I've been the underdog before, so I get it. And yeah, I would hope that they prove me wrong, but I think it's gonna be really hard to do that. Either someone's gonna have a crazy season if they want to like make the top, because in this league, remember, top 8. So not just 2 teams get eliminated like the Lite League, 4 get eliminated. So every single person you're about to see here, they're eliminated. So interesting, but yeah, I got TDX as my number 12. Number 11, Ottertude. All the good logos, bro. Why is that gotta be like that? Inland Otters coming out at 11. This team, you know, I don't see it. I don't. You know, they have a bunch of rookies, so it is hard to judge. But from what I do know, Herd of Property is not a support player. And then they have 4 rookies. And just looking at the ratings, which is really what I only can look at, it's just, I don't think they have enough. And maybe, like I said, maybe someone's really going to explode. Like, rookies all the time have insane seasons. So don't get me wrong, it could happen. But based off what I know and looking at the other teams, and really in the Stout League, it's not as much of, usually it's not like, oh, you know, this is a bad team, this is why I'm putting you like 10, 9, you know, 11 or whatever, 12. It's usually there are some insane teams in Stout. So yeah, Inland Otters, number 11. Number 10, who's it going to be? Oh! You didn't see that? And I'm not editing it, so 1 second. I got to go back to this screen. If you wanted to get spoiled, you can, but I hope not, and hopefully you stay with me here because I don't feel like editing it. So here we go, number 10, and as we play our next song. Number 10 is, in fact, Gin and Tonics. This team, you know, I could see they definitely have some players that could, you know, that look, like I said, it's an all rookie team, hard to judge. But I think they do have some ways of winning. I think their top laner could have a really good season. He's highly rated in the top pool. So we'll see. We will see. It's hard to judge, but like I said before, rookies have historically either done really, you know, they've won the entire league because they've been, you know, what I would say criminally underrated, or they get absolutely destroyed and they don't, you know, they don't do very well. I've had a lot of those as well. Probably just as many as, actually probably more than the winning teams. So hard to rate, but I would put them at 10 as of right now. So prove me wrong, please. And then number 9, Driftless Skill Shot coming in at number 9. Yet again, team all of rookies, which I feel like I'm totally hating on the rookies right now, but I will redeem you in a second, rookies. Driftless Skill Shot is the number 9 team. They're very evenly weighted, but I feel like that's the problem. I don't know if they have an advantage anywhere. You know, their highest pointed player is 5, and their lowest pointed player is 3. So it's only a 2-point gap, which sometimes it does actually pay off to have like a really, really solid player. You know, clearly micro-wise, you know, someone that can outplay and stuff, but also it usually comes with like game knowledge and skill, you know, and shot calling. So that kind of worries me about this team. So that's why I put them at number 9. But prove me wrong, like I'm saying to all these teams, and all chat me. If you are in a game against Win in Rome and you want to all chat, go for it. We all chat all the time, and it's nothing personal. It's just fun, and it's all friendly banter. Number 8, PPP, Personal Pepper Power. I did it last season, and it felt wrong. But last season, I rated Pyron's team, which Pyron's a beast. I rated Pyron's team low, and I rated them too low. I rated them 9 last season, and they ended up 8. and I'm going to respect them this season and put them 8. I love Pyroan, and I think, and I'm actually, if you're looking at the paper, this isn't the order because they're at 19.5 points, which is lower than Driftless, Driftless Skill Shot and Gin and Tonics. But I think Pyroan is good enough to put them over, but I just don't think they have enough to make the difference. So, with that said, I do have them at number 8. I think back in the day, especially when Pyron started out, and especially when I started out in Beer League, being a really highly rated jungler, you could just straight up solo carry like games left and right. But now there's some dang good teams, like actually good at League of Legends teams. So it makes it pretty difficult to just win straight out by yourself. And not to say he doesn't have teammates. I mean, I really do like the squad, but there's just really good squads here. So I'm going to have him put him 8. And number 7, Bourbon Nasher. Bourbon Nasher coming in at number 7. This team, a mix of rookies and non, but I think this team, kind of what I mentioned earlier, I think they're going to play through their bot lane, if I had to guess, and or the bot side of the map. And the jungler's 2.5. That's the thing that scares me here. That's why I didn't put them any higher than they are, because there are some really highly rated junglers, and if your jungler can't keep up, it does start to kind of crash the entire map. So it's going to be hard for them to really play. Like, if they're going to win, it's going to be through their bottom lane. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I do have them at number 7. And then the next team, which you already see it, BW, but I do have a disclaimer here. Like the Lite League, I feel like there was a strong just divide right down the middle of the screen between the left and the right. I think the left, the 1 through 6, I'm confident about, and I think they're way better than the 7 through 12. 7 through 12, I think, could mix up, but I'm pretty confident in these top 6. So on number 6, we got Barren Wastelands, and this team I like. 2 of the top solo laners in their respective position. I think that looks good. BW is usually a competitive team. They're, just looking at their dynasty. They got a couple returning members. I think it's going to be a fun team to watch. They're 23.5 out of the 25 points, so they're 1.5 off the cap. And I think they have a lot of skill. And I'm interested to see how this goes, but I have a feeling this is going to be a good team. And they're definitely going to be in the running and take off some games off of people. And like I said earlier, just a reminder, the top 8 make the playoffs. So that means I'm calling 9 through 12. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction. And we continue on. Number 5, IQ Dead Zone coming in. And I got to play another song. And actually, I was going to play the song that I made, but I'm not going to do that because that has my voice on it. That would be kind of annoying or kind of confusing, I guess. Not even annoying. But number 5, IQ Dead Zone. Whew, this is where it got tough. I think Barren Waste, really starting at Barren Wastelands, it got tough, but really at IQ, it got really tough. IQ and beyond, I was like, man, there are some really good teams. But unfortunately, IQ did land 5th for me. And, the reason is I think their bot lane's very underweighted. I think they're better than what their rating says, but also Cress, I don't believe, has ever played support, or I'm sorry, ADC, but I'm about to go check that, and he is not. He's only played top and mid in the Beer League. So, and then you got Hernandez Teaches, which is a lower rated support. I think he's a good support, but I think he's not like an insane 7-point player. So I think they're going to struggle bot lane. And then Rihi, I believe in that dude, and I'm sure he's going to practice the crap out of top. So I think he's going to do good, but he's still going to take some adjusting for sure. And there's other good top laners that he's going to have to go against. And then, but I think their top side of the map is going to be really good. And I think that's what's going to drive this team. So looking forward to what they can do. But I have them at 5 here. And then the next team, which I had them at 1 last season. So they've kind of dropped, in my opinion, compared to the competition. Their off-season was not as good, in my opinion. Now, an off-season that was good is two more. I was doubting them last season, and I should have doubted them even more because they just were not good. And but talking about off seasons, I think they've had a good one. I think they've had a really good one. They pull in Bernie back into the squad. They pull in None Ya Business off the free agent. They put Slamurai back into the mid lane, the coach, the captain, and they bring in the submissive guy, which you don't really know what that's going to bring because no one knows how that's going to go because it's a rookie. But I think that's going to be interesting, and I think this team is going to be good. They are one of the only two teams that are at the cap, which they're at the cap. Why aren't they number one? I don't think the cap means everything, kind of what I've been saying, but I do think they're going to be a good team. I think their top side is going to be really good. I think their bottom side is going to be good enough to sustain themselves, and maybe Submissive is like an insane ADC and is like criminally underrated, and they actually like start winning from bot side as well. But for sure, their top side is going to be really good. I think probably one of the best top sides. Same thing with IQ, in my opinion. And then on the next team, number 3. Drum roll, please. The top 3. You have Team Reflex. I told you I was gonna pay the rookies back. Team Reflex. Here we go. This is an interesting team. All 5 rookies, and I have them number 3. How in the world did I get here? Well, I think they're extremely well-rounded. Most well-rounded team in the entire league. And like I said, their lowest player, Corey, in the mid lane. He's now 2 points. By far and away their lowest player by 2 whole points. And yeah, I think they are very, very well-rounded. I think another thing that I've noticed is they switched their lineup, which could be a sign that they can flex positions, which is a useful thing in the bear league for sure. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the ADC is 7.5. If he's projected to be better than 10 grand, how can you not rate a team super high? Like an ADC can change everything in a competitive 5 setting. So highly rated jungler, 6 points. Highly rated top laner, 5 points. I think this is the highest rated, or one of the highest rated. I think it's tied for the highest rated bot lane duo. Yeah, tied for it with 10 grand and Zor, which we're about to get to in a second. Yeah, I think this team's going to be good. I'm expecting good things from this. I've never seen any of these players play, so who knows? They could completely upset or, do terrible. But I think I could see them being number 3. And number 2, the no logo team, Bad Money Cerveza, the other top-rated bot lane duo. You got the returning champs, 3 of them on this team. And I think this team is really good. I think it'll be. I think a lot of it will come down to Mia Sakura. Okay, wait. I'm gonna take a shot of this. Mia Sakurade. Anyways, and yeah, I think it's a lot of it's going to come down to how he can sustain. The rest of their team is balling. I mean, I think it's it's going to be interesting to see how Cuss doesn't top lane. Clearly, I've already seen that he's been practicing it, but I think it's going to be a really good team. I think it's hard to bet against 10 grand and Zor. They played amazingly last season. By far on the way, like first, if maybe second best top or ADC bot duo. So it's gonna be really fun to see how they do, and it's interesting how you'll see in a second. But I think bot lane still has a lot to do, and especially in competitive 5s. Not really the solo queue, but competitive 5s a lot to do. But I think this team's gonna do really well. I could totally see them getting back to the finals again. So it'll be interesting to see, and it's very interesting because in the Lite League I did the same thing, and it's not because I don't really even think it has weight being a runner-up or like a finals or the champion of last season. I don't think it really transfers over necessarily all the time, but I think it just happens that these teams are going to be really good again, and that's why for number 1, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but this is genuinely what I think. Win in Rome, number 1. I had us number 2 last season. We ended number 2, so I got us right on the dot. And I'm not trying to be egotistical here, but we keep this exact same team. JWM, I think, is a phenomenal player in the top lane. So I really think that's gonna be great for us. And not to say Elias didn't do good for us, but yeah, I think JWM is a really good player. Excited to have him, and we're keeping the exact same squad. and Bad Bunny, Cerveza, they lost two of their players, which one of them was the value player that I think of. But the biggest reason why I have us on top is this discount player thing. If you remember, the thing I showed you earlier is there are certain players in the beer league historically that have been discounted or just poorly underrated, and in my opinion, we have three of them right now. JWM for sure underrated. Really bad Zed, literally always the best mid laner in the league, no cap. He almost wins every single lane the entire season. Criminally underrated. And then Zelarox, I believe, is underrated as well. I would call him a discount player as well. So in my opinion, we have three discounted players, and that's exactly why I think we're going to be number one. I think I don't think it's going to be like by far on the way we're just like destroying everyone, but I do think we're going to be number one, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good season. I'm really excited. I think our team, me and my bot lane, we've played 3 seasons back to back now, and really bad Zeds now played back to back with us. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to get out there on the Rift, and I think we're going to be a force to be messed with, and I look forward to seeing every single one of you on the Rift and destroying you. So with that being said, that is it. We are an hour and 40 minutes in. Wild. One take, not editing this, and hope you enjoyed it. I really do. Hope you interact with this video, like it, comment. I always like to see that, or comment in the Discord. Love to hear your guys' opinions. Maybe make your own power ranking, just like put it in the Discord, like, hey, this is what I think. That'd be fun to see. But I'm pretty confident in these ratings, and I think I'm going to do even better this season than I did last season. And I'm looking forward to potentially looking back on this in, a few months and saying, wow, I got every single one of these right. That's freaking crazy. Now, the last thing I will say before I leave is roster changes do make a difference. There were 11 roster changes, 2 in the Lite and 9 in the Stout. So roster changes do make a difference for sure. So, I'm rating these teams based on their roster right now, and as if they were to finish the roster or finish the season with the exact same roster, which doesn't always happen. So that's something to keep in mind. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and really looking forward to getting on the Rift with all of y'all. And I just love interacting with this community and being a part of it. And it's just super fun. And I've played in this league for, I think, 12 seasons out of the 14. I missed the first season because I didn't even know about it, and then took one season off. And it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back into the competitive arena of League of Legends, and looking forward to it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of the night. See you later.